Over the past decade, there have been 2 roller coaster manufacturers that have really upped their game, and with each of their new mega coaster designs, it could easily become a #1 coaster. But there's another company out there that has built some of the best roller coasters that we've ever seen before, and we don't talk about them enough. And the great thing is, with their newest coaster getting built at Epic Universe, I think it's safe to say that Intamin and RMC really need to watch out, because Mack Rides is here and they are bringing some serious competition. Intamin has been designing some amazing world-class coasters basically ever since Millennium Force opened in 2000, and RMC started rolling out when they debuted the new Texas Giant in 2011. Flying under the radar over the last few years is Mack Rides, a company who is about to build one of the wildest looking hypercoasters that we've ever seen before. And not to mention, but open the world's best and most insane looking dueling coaster in 2025. I'm going to break down how good Thorpe Park's new hyper and the insanely long dueling coaster at Epic Universe, and tell you why I think these coasters are about to blow up everyone's coaster rankings. But first, let's take a look at how Mack Rides got here. Currently, there are 146 different roller coasters designed by Mack that you can still ride today. And did you know that the company's first ever roller coaster wasn't even a steel coaster? That's because it was actually a wooden Wild Mouse that opened at the Expo in 1958. Since then, Mack Rides has delivered us some of the best bobsled coasters out there, a ton of steel Wild Mouse coasters, and of course, their water coasters. But everything started to change for Mack Rides in 2009, because this was the year that Blue Fire Mega Coaster opened at the one and only Europa Park in Germany. Blue Fire was the company's first extreme roller coaster and was not only a grand slam for Europa Park, but also for Mack Rides. Then, 5 years later, Alpine Blitz opened to rave reviews. This mini hypercoaster was very important to Mack's growth, since this was their first take on an airtime focused ride. And to think, coming into 2023, we are looking at some potential #1 roller coasters from Mack Rides, and this is only the beginning. Over the last few years, Mack Rides has really expedited their game. Since 2016, they have built 3 hypercoasters, 2 extreme spinners, and one of the most insane launch coasters ever created, and of course, Carowind's Copperhead Strike. It is safe to say that Mack Rides is not playing around, and they can build just as good of a coaster as Intamin and RMC. But sadly, the 3 Mack Hypers that are currently built are in locations where it's pretty difficult for us to get to, but everyone who has ridden a Mack Hypercoaster raves about them, and all you hear is great things. The first Mack Hypercoaster opened in 2016 at China's Liwa Adventure. This layout is dubbed the Flash and was cloned 2 short years later at Turkey's Land of the Legends theme park. Both of these hypercoasters are legit and provide an amazing spiraling first drop that leads into one of the tallest vertical loops ever erected. Yes, I said erected. And a layout that is filled with floating and ejector airtime, insane transitions, and a beautiful zero-G roll. Then in 2017, Australia's Warner Bros. Movie World shocked us all when they announced DC Rivals Hypercoaster, a sleek, pinkish track with black support coaster that really upped the standards for future hypercoasters all across the world. While not offering any inversions, DC Rivals instead focuses on airtime, incredible pacing, and a massive non-inverting loop that looks awesome, and what I would say is just about the best first drop on any hypercoaster in operation. There are reasons why people rave about Mack Hypers and claim that they are the best hypercoaster that they've ever ever been on, and I can see that. I honestly do not see how any B&M can compete with just how good these Mack Hypers look, at least from what we've seen in the past. Now for something odd, there is a fourth Mack Hyper coaster that will feature a custom layout, but it's currently in storage and will hopefully be open at Bollywood Parks Dubai very soon. Now if you're enjoying this video about Mack Rides, then trust me, you do not want to miss my next video, so be sure to become the newest theme park predictions and more subscriber and give this video a like. Now with knowing how good Mack can perfect the hypercoaster, I am even more intrigued about Thorpe Park's massive new project from Mack Rides. Standing at a height of 236 feet tall, when opened, this will become the tallest roller coaster in the UK. And from what we know from the coaster's official layout, which was designed beautifully by the one and only Amusement Insider and No Limits 2, this hyper is the real deal. The highlight for this coaster has got to be the uniqueness of the layout, mainly because we have yet to see any coaster feature a layout like this. And just when you thought that DC Rival's first drop couldn't be topped, Mack Rides goes out and designs this even more insane first drop. I mean, just look at this thing. Just imagine riding this in the very back row. While Project Exodus does appear to be short, Mack Rides really has perfected every element of this new coaster. While the Mack Hypers sure do look great, they are not the most intense coaster that the company has ever built. You have to learn more about Beyond the Cloud, the ever so beautiful 5-inversion launch coaster that just opened in China. Now believe it or not, but this is currently the tallest coaster that Mack Rides has ever created. Yes, even taller than Mack's labeled hypercoasters. Standing at a height of 205 feet, Beyond the Cloud features a very quick and intense launch, which is something that we have not seen yet from Mack. But the real highlight of this coaster has got to be the zero-G roll that is located directly after the 205-foot tall top hat. And to think that Maverick could not open up with that zero-G roll. Now the good news for most of us is that I have a feeling that this layout can and will get cloned very soon. Because the truth is, we all need to experience that zero-G roll. So hopefully this Mack coaster goes to a park that is easier for us to travel to. Now, do you really want to know how impressive Mack coasters are? Because I've been telling you about how awesome these 5 coasters are, and yet I haven't even brought up the best coasters that Mack has ever created. When Time Traveler opened at Silver Dollar City in 2018, I don't think anyone knew how big of a deal this ride would be. Mack Rides really didn't know what they were doing because in 2021, they opened the Ride of Happiness at Palapsa Land. And from everyone who has ridden Ride of Happiness, they have all said that this coaster is a #1 potential worthy ride. And so far, we've only seen 2 extreme spinners pop up at parks. However, I do predict that's going to change very quickly. Come on, Cedar Point, we know you want to build one. In fact, there are rumors that Epic Universe will be opening a Mack spinning coaster of some kind. This new coaster is rumored to be themed and named around the Curse of the Werewolf. And this project could be a new Mack Extreme spinner. And since Epic Universe will not open until 2025, even though I think we could see it open in stages as early as late 2024, Universal's newest park is also building one of the best steel coasters ever created. A roller coaster that is indeed designed by the one and only Mack Rides. Again, a huge shout out goes to Amusement Insider for bringing this coaster's layout to life, and No Limits 2. Because this coaster, which is rumored to be called Starfall Racers, will battle with Velocicoaster and Ironwazi for the best roller coaster in Florida and possibly the entire world. I am calling it now, Starfall Racers will be Mack's masterpiece. This coaster will be in a class of its own because not only does the layout look so impressive, you are dueling with another train throughout the entire ride. This new coaster will feature 2 launches, multiple inversions, a ton of airtime, and beautifully paced elements. Standing at just under 140 feet tall and featuring over 4,700 feet of track, Starfall Racers will be a high-capacity roller coaster that will help make Epic Universe, dare I say, the best theme park in the world? Now here is an intriguing thought. What is Mack Rides planning next? How tall and how fast can they build a roller coaster? I think it's a safe bet that they can easily build a giga coaster if a park asks them to. What do you think? It's amazing to see the evolution of Mack Rides, and I cannot wait to see what they have planned for us all next. So, how do you think these amazing Mack roller coasters stack up against the other great coasters from manufacturers like Intamin, RMC, and B&M? Be sure to let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.